There we go. All right, and we're live on YouTube also. All right, hopefully we get a nice, good stream here. It's really early in the morning. I'm not going to get many Americans. It's going to be mostly my Brits and Europeans. I'm sure we'll get a few stragglers from other places, but they won't comment because it's set to subscription only. So that'll clear out some of just the riffraff. I'm from India. I'm from whatever. What country are you from? Like, we don't need all that in a fitness channel, right? Fitness page. So, all right. Hopefully, we'll get people in here shortly. I'm just going to pedal and work on some stuff until then. Gotta make our grocery run this morning. There's a bunch of stuff I normally get that's on sale. It's like, oh man, we got to get to the grocery store for sure. All right, we got to get in there today. So it'll take a few minutes. But yeah, getting this fasted cardio done. I've only had about half a cup of coffee. I re-topped it up, so kind of getting caffeinated for the day. We've obviously started running. Started also doing barefoot running, barefoot sled stuff. I think that's going to be a relatively fun endeavor. Good for toughening the feet. Good for strengthening your feet and ankles. You know, it's really good for all of that. So I'm going to keep that up. Yeah. So something, because again, I've always been on that theme already of strengthening our feet, building our feet with all the barefoot lifting. So just doing the barefoot running is great. And no, I don't have any good beaches nearby, unfortunately. All right, we don't have any good beaches nearby because I got asked already by someone. You know, they're like, "Do you have any good beaches? You know, you could go to." I'm like, dude, I'm just north of Houston. Galveston would be the closest, and it's not the best, and that's a long drive. Like that's a really long way to go for 20 minutes of cardio. You know what I mean, guys? Like I can't justify a 2-hour one-way trip to do 20 minutes of cardio, unfortunately. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. But we can get this started. Like I said, I want to get some grocery shopping, but there's nothing open yet. The store I want to go to is not even open. So we'll just get this cardio done up until then, and you know, and take it from there. Well, I thought I pinned that already in the Facebook. Picked up a new client yesterday or the day before, so that's good. Getting his sheet started. I was going through the other day, hitting him with some old leads. It was a guy who tried to apply a year ago, and he didn't follow back up, and I hit him back, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I can come on," and I got him in this week. We got him on. Let's get some more of those, man. If you can grab another client this weekend, would be great. You know, never knows, because I got a consultation later today, but he's not going to be a client. I've done one with him before. Really, really funny dude. He's already paid, so I'm going to do a consultation with a guy who's coming back for another one. He's in medical school, right? And he's in like his third year of it, but he was like a jock. He followed my channel forever. He was a high school football guy, really just kind of a jock and a farm boy. And he's like, you know what? I think I can be a doctor. He didn't actually get into medical school. And he's in there, you know, middle of his class, but he's just kind of trucking along with it. He's like, yeah, I want to be a doctor. And, you know, not just be a farm boy. And yeah, and there he is. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. He's just doing his thing. So yeah. But as far as me, it's strange. We got likes already, but nobody's commented. Are we set to see all of them? Can I see them? I need to adjust this. No, it's set to live chat. All right. So I should be able to see anything. But I had Rufio, a regular, in here in the mornings come in. So what are haters going to say now? Because he's literally 210 pounds, barely lean, just jogging along casually without too much trouble. And I don't know, dude. Haters are haters, man. They're just going to say, they're just going to continue to say that I'm fat and out of shape and weak. And everything else. It's just what they do. You know, it's what haters do. People don't understand. You can't You can't make haters do that. Then again, or you can just keep working hard enough till your haters become fans. That's also works sometimes. You know. Yeah. Potted Meat, hello, what's going on, Potted Meat? Did you hit like already, brother? Man, you're the first one in here commenting on either platform. Nobody's hit anything yet on Facebook or YouTube. So, you got anything going on? Sort that out. No, nothing really happening for you, Potted Meat. Although a couple likes trickling in, that means we're going to get some regulars here shortly. And I think that's going to be the case. What do we got on there? So put up on Facebook. People might enjoy it. I kind of did a comparison discussing why you can't believe social media. You guys have to really be careful. And here's why. Right. When I did that water cut of this is why you can't believe people, which you see online. Keep in mind, that is literally just a water cut, right? I was fatter than I am right now. I was walking around at 220. My bench and everything is way stronger right now, right? My lower body is about equal. My upper body is literally stronger, but I'm 210, so I'm obviously leaner than I was at 220 if strength is equal or higher. And the upper body is quite a bit stronger. But I walk around 10 pounds lighter than that in the right picture. That's just dehydration. I dropped 23 pounds of water. So when you see influencers who don't show you what they look like shirtless every day, they're not on the camera every day. They always have lighting, perfect lighting, Photoshop, all this other stuff, but perfect lighting, and they only time their shirtless stuff. See where I'm going with that? How do you know they didn't take 24 hours to do a water cut? They don't look like that. All right. Keep in mind, I have no tan there either. Rufio, what's going on, Rufio? I have zero tan there. No good lighting. It's just the hotel room lighting. Appreciate that like, Rufio. So, again, be very, very cautious of what you see. And that's the problem with people selling illusion. Dudes who literally don't look like that are giving you their secrets to look like that. I'm like, why didn't you give your water cutting protocol? Why don't you give your lighting protocol? Because that's part of how you look like that. Because you don't actually look like that. Like tomorrow, you don't look like that walking down the street. That's the difference. Right? People sell illusion. Not just about the drug, just they're literally selling illusion. What's the most common reason for people hurting their lower back on deadlifts? Touch and go. Weak hamstrings and then touch and go deadlifts is really high. All right. I would say the number one cause is definitely bouncing it off the floor between reps, though. All right. Instead of resetting way, 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 way up there. But otherwise, generally just weak hamstrings. Using bad form to where you don't maintain the same amount of backgrounding start to finish, right? So you can pull completely cat back if you're used to it without getting hurt, as long as you start cat back. For example, Rufio, thoughts on sumo deadlifts? That's really vague. That's like saying thoughts on overhead press. It's a good exercise. I mean, what are we looking for, Rufio? Work with me here. it's a barbell lift. It's a basic barbell lift that primarily works the lower body, but the back to some extent. It uses a barbell. I don't know what you're asking me. I don't program it that often, other than for speed work and maxes for people who need it. I rarely have anyone do it for actual rep work, but it can work just fine. It's a rep exercise. What do you mean more hamstring with sumo? No, it uses less potted. No, sumo is going to probably, if anything, use less hamstring than conventional. It'll use more quad, more adductor, less hamstring, a little less back. Sumo does benefits people with better squat strength, not necessarily. No silverback. That's not how it works. It's going to depend on the person. I mean, I do see what you're saying, though, and to some extent, but I never found that to be the case. Even when my squats were massive, I could always pull more conventional than sumo. Right? Even remember when I pulled sumo for a year, pretty much I treated it as a primary, and I didn't do any heavy conventional work, just sumo. And my squats were really good. My squats were way up in the 500s, right? You guys are seeing me squat like 530 to 550 pretty regularly. And then I went and after pulling sumo, I went and pulled conventional. My conventional was 10 pounds stronger than my sumo without doing conventional for like 12 months. Any jogging plans? Yeah, I'll go take a quick run. I'm going to try to do a run most days. It has been raining though, so it depends on the weather. I'm going to try to do a jog, a short run every day, if possible, just to keep adapting my my feet and calves and stuff to it. I've had some other people say the same thing. They're like, yeah, dude, barefoot running, your calves really have to get used to it. Like the calf pumps are intense. Like I literally have calf dumps from doing it already. It's interesting. I mean, it's not like bad, but it's very mild. It's enough that I notice it. It's just there. And it's like all through my gastrocnemius. I can definitely feel it. But I have big calves too. So for me, it's like a calf raise almost. Right? I don't see how people who do cardio don't have massive calves automatically. Like, how does anybody do sled work or anything like that without having like 17-inch calves? I mean, because you feel your calves so much on all that stuff. All right. I mean, doesn't sled work feel just like doing a 400-pound calf raise? Right? I think it does. I can't really tell them apart. Or like a 315. Like, I would say pushing a sled feels about like putting 315 on the bar and doing calf raises with it. Pretty similar. But yeah, Rufy, I'll get a jog in. I may get some sled in. I might do just a couple bodyweight pull-ups. I did some of those my off day. It felt good. Instead of dead hangs, just doing easy sets of 10 with that really close grip. Not doing the chin. The chinger would hurt me. I'm convinced of that. And I'm not trying to do 100 pull-ups either. But just doing some extra pull-ups, I think, will help with that shoulder range of motion with the rear delts, all that stuff. Right. Coach be living on pull-ups and sleds. Yeah, so now we're, again, let's be more and more athletic. Isn't that what I said I was going to do? I was going to gradually work in stuff, become more athletic. You know, it's part of the game here. So first I worked in the sled. Then we started working in jumping. Right? Then we started working in jogging. Just be athletic, guys. Let's get more athletic. Half of my training, at least, is my total sets how much body weight stuff, weighted body weight exercises are technically a staple. Because I don't do that much volume on the big three. Do you have any athletic tracks near you? No. No. But then I got a travel review. Like, do you see what I mean from a time economy perspective? The travel time I could be spending training or making money. Like, I don't get paid for those car rides. I'm not making any money. I'm not getting any cardio done. I'm not getting any resting done. So it becomes useless waste of my time right now. I mean, technically, yes, I could go to, there's a stadium I could go use if I really wanted, I suppose. But I don't have a need. I'll just run on the street. But I don't get paid for that travel. So it's dead time. Unless I'm finding a way to post memes or something in the middle of the drive. Could you IRL streaming and real thing from the transporting to maybe, but look how hard it is to keep a connection. See the problem? So it's not really. It's just a waste of time, right? Because the other thing I would point out, what's wrong with running on the surface I'm on? I'll adapt to it. Right, we toughen up to everything we do. I mean, I've done barefoot before, a little bit. You toughen up. Main thing is, guys, like, I'm so busy with stuff I'm trying to do, like traveling to do anything traveling to do cardio feels insane to me. Like, to me, anything where it's like I need to travel to find a hill, travel to find a track, I'm like, fuck that. It's a waste of my productivity. I'm wasting gas and I'm just having dead time. It's not doing anything else productive. It's not like I'm going to see a girlfriend or something like that with it. I'm literally, or just go to hang out with my brother, I'm just traveling to do cardio. I have a street, sidewalks right next to me. See what I mean? Like, that just seems so useless. I know people always recommend that stuff, but it's like, why? I mean, I could even take my flat bottom sled down to the grass area, and I thought about that, but I'm like, man, that's going to waste productivity for me to load that thing into the vehicle, drive down to the park area where you guys have seen me do some of my walks, unload it, and I could just push my other one down the street. And I still might go do some of that, don't get me wrong. But I have to look at that and go, man, that's wasting productivity, especially during my fasted window, Like, for me in the morning, I'm like up working at 4 a.m. all the way till I eat. I don't take any downtime at all. Everything I'm doing is business. It's either, training, obviously, doing social media, posting client stuff, doing videos. So I don't stop working until I eat. So it's pretty much an 8-hour, work day every day, 7 days a week. Rufy, I'll probably still do the barefoot. I mean, the running shoes would be nice to have, just as comfortable shoes to walk in or whatever. Like, I'm not going to turn down shoes, but if they're my size and look good. But, really, I think I'm going to keep doing the barefoot. I have a fan who offered to buy a pair of shoes. He's going to pick something off the list. Probably the Chucks. Y'all gonna laugh. It's a fan who already buys foot pictures. Yeah. He bought me flip-flops on the list already. That's the funny thing. Apparently, I've been told I have really aesthetic feet. That's like literally all I do for any of the other stuff now. For the OnlyFans type stuff, I just sell foot pictures. And I'm actually literally serious. I'm not even trolling you guys. Yeah. So apparently all my barefoot training has given me really, yes. He might come in. He's been in these streams before. He'll probably admit to it. At least one of the guys. I have a couple who do. One of them has posted in these streams before. So yeah, foot pictures, man. So apparently all my barefoot training has given me muscular, aesthetic feet. Get rid of that nonsense. Who knows? Since I haven't received any disability money in well over a decade, how are you going to cancel? He's going to build a time machine. You're the one who's responsible. Actually, I'm responsible. I had to report that I was returning to work because of my internet income many years ago. And it officially terminated any possibility of me getting that again. Yeah. Which it was actually the correct legal course of action. Like I followed the law. I think people forget that. I don't deny that I was on disability for having Meniere's disease at one time. I legitimately was. That's been a really, really long time ago. And I followed the correct legal procedure of there's a thing called the Return to Work program, and my internet income counted me towards it well over a decade ago. Rufio, but we don't need to go on that. It's too much. Let's go back over to fitness. Needless to say, I will say, though, that apparently training barefoot gives you aesthetic feet, which makes sense. They're going to be muscular. They're going to be lean. They're going to be veiny. But I don't have a problem with foot pictures anyway. It's just not. I don't think anyone could ethically say anything for a foot picture or a foot video. You know. But you know, no, they're not paying a lot, like $15 for a picture, dude. All right, back over to fitness topics though. But I guess that's fitness related. But now I'm gonna do the barefoot running and stuff too, which is great for your feet, great for your ankles. Hey, Money, I appreciate the compliment. I missed that earlier. But now, yeah, potted meat. It's not just about toughening the bottom of your feet. There's been some studies on that of people who ran barefoot in certain countries versus other people. And it seems to give dramatically better foot mobility, toe mobility, foot strength, ankle strength, right? Just like I tried to say that for lifting without shoes. You know, Duffin put me onto that years ago, Chris Duffin. It's going to give you stronger feet and ankles, right? And look back historically, it's not like it wasn't super popular. I mean, people forget that. They go back and look at Arnold and Franco and all those guys literally out on the beach training in a pair of shorts. That's all they have on. Wearing no more than I wear, right? Right. When they were in the gym, you go back and look, it's just a tank top and shorts at an actual gym. Usually no shoes. I don't think people realize that. They didn't catch that. They all trained without shoes. Unbelievably says, Coach, now that you are back jogging, how are you going to program it into your routine? I'm not going to program it. I'm just going to casually add it back in slowly and build it up over time. You can't just casually jog like, well, we can't do it for hours. You have to build it up over time. I mean, I did like a 4-minute jog. I did a 5-minute jog. You know, we just gradually add it in. You build it up and adapt to it. Yeah, Rufio, I shouldn't have gone off on that other topic. That's actually really horrible for, again, staying on topic and not getting haters. Someone will literally kill you because you sold a foot picture. Like that's reason enough to hate a human being on the internet, you know. So So let's go over to someone selling a foot picture is enough for a crazy person to want to kill him. So that's enough. Let's stick to lifting weights and fitness and cardio and health. You're going to need to track mileage, I think. Why? Well, I just track time. How about we just build up gradually so that it's not an issue? Like with everything else, if you progress slow enough, you adapt. Your recovery systems adapt. Here's the thing with training. So if you start looking at the different stages of mastery, a lot of you guys are stuck in stage 2. You're not in stage 3, and you can tell with your mindsets. Right? You guys are stuck in the mechanistic mathematical side. You haven't reached flow state. Like, this is a very, very well documented thing to where you're understanding the different stages of mastery of anything. In the case for training, as an example, you guys are stuck in stage 2 with the questions you ask. A lot of you, you've been training a few years, but you're not in mastery. So you don't have intrinsic flow state. And that's okay. Most people stay there for their whole life, and whatever they're trying to master, they stick in that stage 2, which is, again, the mechanistic nuts and bolts side of it. Flow state is when it becomes intrinsic. You simply know how much volume I can add of this. How can I adapt to it? How does my body adapt? It's flow state. So in that case, I simply slowly add it in and keep it at a level that I can adapt to. Good morning. How's everyone feeling today? We're doing good, Felty. How about you? So my training tends to be kind of there with things like that. I think I just love seeing data. Okay, but you're not. That's going to keep you stuck in stage 2. So I coach a lot of people with flow state and the mindset, just flow, flow, flow. All right. And I used to be where you were too. Everything was the math and mechanistic, and now it's just more flow. Even clients, I just adjust as we go, and just bam, next sheet. Look at what they're doing. Look at their lifts. Look at bar speed. Just send it over. Next. What do you? I don't know. A few years ago. I think when I started really doing conjugate stuff, I started really getting into flow state. When I went hard into conjugate, it shifted my whole perspective. And then my stuff becomes more and more simplistic. Like some of the really good, like Dan John, his stuff is so simple, but it works. So Dan John reached flow state many, many, many years ago as lifting and as a coach. Right. And you can see that difference. Even all his programming models all draw back to simplicity, because he understands that's all that we need. When we understand how much of programming is psychological to program an athlete, you no longer need it for your own training, because you're not trying to psychologically psych yourself out or trick yourself. You just flow. Which is why ultimately I'll probably bench 365 and squat 500 to get it under 200 moving forward. We just flow into it. Hey, Jason, I hit the like, respect. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. We're also obviously running on Facebook. We're on the bike. We're usually doing both. Carol always double taps there. Yeah. I think conjugate really helped me finally bridge that gap. And now I can just flow. So I can come in and do full body stuff. I can just work this stuff in. How much cardio do I think I can handle? How much jogging? Does my body seem to be able to adapt? So again, I'm just going to gradually just flow into more and more jogging. Got you, Coach, but on what days the jogging? Is it post lifting. All cardio is always done post lifting. Unbelievable. That is one thing I'm going to tend to stick to. If muscle and strength is a primary, you're not an endurance athlete, competitive, always cardio after lifting. What do you mean, what days? I'm jogging on the days ending in a Y. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll probably just work in a small amount and just build it up. Just work in a jogging session here and there as it just seems to work into my day. And assuming the weather allows, and just continue to toughen up the feet, the ankles, really getting my calves used to it is going to be the hardest part for my big ass calves. Get DOMs from the barefoot running, which is really common. Appreciate it, Carol. Appreciate the like on Facebook also. So just like with the other stuff, we gradually work it in, and now I'm worked over to doing the sled without shoes. Again, we just build stronger, tougher feet. I was chatting with one of my clients about that. He's always like, "You're pretty chill, but I don't know why all these crazy people want to fight you." Like, they want to get a cage match or whatever. It's like you kind of have crazy, and you got to do a barefoot running and you squat 500 pounds and stuff. I don't get it either. I don't even want to fight. I don't know, man. So weird. Like, people who hate me act like I'm like some pussy who they could just hit and I'm gonna fall over. I'm like, you guys watched a 565-pound bar fall on me on camera. It fell on top of me. It slipped out of the hooks and fell on me. And I just got up and dusted it off and finished my workout. I'm just saying, that doesn't mean I can necessarily fight, but I mean, like, dude, you're not really going to hurt me hitting me or pulling on me. I mean, I've had the barbell fall on me and get up and keep working out. I mean, I get it if you're an ultra badass. I mean, I'm not saying some really serious fighter couldn't jack me up. He obviously could, but none of these guys are serious competitive fighters. Yeah. I can take a hit pretty well. Every man needs to fight. I don't like to fight. I had to fight a lot as a kid. I've probably been in more fist fights than you'd be shocked. Context. I have a funny last name, and I talked funny as a kid because I was deaf. I was completely deaf for 2 years and deaf in my left ear for like 8 years. So I talked funny, and I had a funny last name. I can assure you, I got in a lot of fist fights. And then I had a rule at home. My dad basically told me if I lost a fight, I was getting my ass beat when I got home. So, it's just like, man, it's not really an option on the table. No, that was the rule in my house. Like, my dad straight up told me, like, if you lose a fight, I'm beating your ass when you get home. Just, that's the rule. Nothing beats prepping for a fight like 3 months out. It's a minute battle. I'm like 8 years old. My dad's giving me this rule. I didn't raise my son to be a pussy. I don't like to fight. I have no desire to get in fights. It's degenerate behavior. Well, I'm going to get in a cage match. I'm assuming when they say those cage matches, because I don't know anything about ring fighting, there's no rules, right? Like, you can bite a dude's dick off or whatever, and it's fine. I'm assuming that there's no rules, right? Like you can bite his nose off, his ear off, whatever. There's no rules. You can bite. You can stomp somebody in the nuts, whatever. When they say a cage match, that's what I'm assuming they mean. Because why wouldn't you bite? There's no rules. Teeth are great. So I gave a kid 12 stitches, and I bit the hell out of him in a fight when I was a kid, 9 years old. So I don't know why these people want to do crazy stuff like that. Lifters these days are very feminine. They need to fight. I don't know about that. I mean, you don't need to get in fights, guys. It's not necessary. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm assuming. That they mean that there's no rules, right? Yeah. They drop you in the cage, and eventually they break it up when one person's hurt too bad. Yeah. I don't know because I don't watch this stuff. I don't really understand, but I assume that means no referees and no rules, right? They just drop you in a cage. Yeah. I always have the people challenging me to the cage matches. Every man should be able to stand up for themselves. Yeah, but I'm too old for that, man. We run out of ammo. That's why you have a knife, right? Everybody carries extra mags and a knife, right? All men, pretty much. You guys are silly. Everybody wants to fight. I don't get it. Pelty, her body type's like endomorphic, ectomorphic. Appreciate the super Pelty. No, it's completely been debunked a long time ago. That's why you'll see actual athletes go through all 3 body types in their life. Those body types are entirely lifestyle. They have nothing to do with genetics or structure. That's been debunked so long ago. In fact, the entire idea came from phrenology. It was a subsection of psychology. It was all pseudoscience. You want to see the most perfect example? Go look at the mountain, right? Look at Half-Thor. He went from an ectomorph to winning the world's strongest man and being over 400 pounds. So our body type's real. He was an ectomorph when he played high school sports. He was lanky and skinny. Then he's over here at over 400 pounds body weight, deadlifting over 1,000 pounds. So what does this tell you about body types? I mean, he was an ectomorph if you use those things. So using that logic, ectomorphs become the world's strongest man if they just lift weights and eat. All right. I suck at PvP says drop to 197 pounds a day, coach, and the mirror is getting to me though, feeling small. Got to get out of my head. Just get out of your head, man. It's all good. What do you mean? And take stuff. I don't know about the taking stuff. If you had a son, would you let him play video games or friends? No, I wouldn't. Given what I know about video games and video game addiction and it rooting productivity of men, yeah, my son wouldn't be playing video games. I'd let him play an instrument. I'd let him take up an art. I'd let him do whatever sports he wanted to do, and I'd encourage it. I don't care what sport it is. Doesn't matter. Pick something. I would almost say that would almost be best if you have a son. Make him pick a sport and get them involved in it. And it doesn't matter. Whatever one they want to pick, I don't care. I don't care if it's ping pong, skateboarding, powerlifting, BJJ. Just let him pick something. Darts. Not darts. Let them pick something. Sport that looks fun to him and get him involved. right? It literally doesn't matter. Whatever one he thinks would be fun, he wants to do. Make him an athlete who's competitive. Best thing you could do. Only rules would be that it requires some degree of physical output, being a sport, and that it has a competitive component where he competes against other boys. Push him in that direction. Right? And if you can't get him into some type of art, so then you develop mind and those skills. Again, it doesn't matter. Any instrument, any form of other artistic expression, painting, carving, it doesn't matter. Anything. Being new, hard to cut through all the fluff and information online. Glad to have you as a resource. Hey man, you're welcome, Felty. You're most welcome, brother. And we keep it simple. We keep it based. Not that I don't do elaborate programming for people like Ted, but Ted is also a multi-sport, very advanced lifelong athlete. So, but yeah, we keep it simple. People overcomplicate things they do not need to overcomplicate for the purpose of marketing. Noah says, hey coach, do you think a person can still drink alcohol and lose fat? Objectively, of course. Is it still horrible for your health, your fitness, and your gains? Yes. For example, if I subtract calories and fill in the rest of the calories with drinks, am I going to have? I mean, any calorie deficit will cause fat loss. Right? Let's be clear on that. That is not even subject to debate. That has been proven repeatedly in the lab, over and over and over and over. Any calorie deficit will cause fat loss. However, you're going to have all the negative effects of the alcohol, including reduced muscle growth, including the toxicity of your body. It is going to make it harder for you to recover from everything, because now you're running a calorie deficit with alcohol. I wish you good luck in retaining any muscle. You will lose fat though. But keep in mind, alcohol itself negatively impacts muscle growth and muscle retention. Proven in the lab. Also, most cancer-causing thing that we consume. You know? And it's addictive. Think about that, Noah. Why don't we make a bigger deal about that in America? We literally harp on and on about modern sporting rifles. Alcohol kills 500 times as many people as rifles do in America, specifically. It's not even close. Why aren't we trying to restrict alcohol? My answer. I don't understand that. Like why is one of them all over the media and the other isn't? Dude, alcohol deaths, 20 tiers higher. Drunk drivers kill more people in America every year than AR-15s have killed since their invention. Just saying. Every year in the entire lifetime of this model in America. So just throwing that out there. It's horrible. Like, yeah. So no, I'm never going to endorse alcohol. I'm not telling you can't do what you want, but I'm telling you the consequences. I'm very anti-alcohol. But I'm also not going to lie to you and say that you can't lose body fat. You know, just be aware of the toll. And the drunk driving is a big deal to me because one of my best friends, my really close inner circle bros, burned alive when a drunk driver hit him. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who get behind the wheel of the ring at all. Like, I'm fine with executing them. I mean, they killed my friend horribly. So, hi, Jason. You doing fasted cardio now? I do fasted cardio 7 days a week, homie. I do all my training fasted. I've been lifting fasted for years. Yeah, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm going to eat about. I ate breakfast at 1 p.m. yesterday. I'll probably try to hold it up to about 1. How many minutes? I'll probably do 2 to 3 hours on the bike today throughout the morning. I'll probably take a quick jog, and I might push the sled. I mean, minimum. We really want, minimum of 2 hours is ideal, right? But this is my list. This is my steady state list stuff, right? The sleds are only not very long, like 2 minutes. I just started adding the barefoot running yet. I've only done like 5 minutes. I'm just going to gradually build up the jogging. But you guys see on here, right? I'm going to build that barefoot running up. I started doing the sled work barefoot out down the street too. You guys have already seen me squat and deadlift like 600 plus barefoot before. So I do barefoot training anyways. Because that's what old men do, right? That's just part of being 48 years old, man. You got to squat 500 pounds barefoot and go jogging without shoes on, right? I mean, that really should kind of be the standard, I think, for an old man, right? You're not a real old man unless you squat 500, do 20 pull-ups, and have a decent barefoot 5K time, right? You're slacking. Seem more natural barefoot. Yeah, it is. Build stronger feet, better mobility. I mean, I did a barefoot 500 squat in January on camera. Just for you guys, 230 kg. With just shorts and a belt on. I'm going to eventually go back into full beltless lifting eventually, I think. That would be a good worthy goal. Get to 50, have good abs, and squat 500 pounds without a belt. I think that would be a good goal to aim for, right? Yeah. I mean, you've seen me do like 270 though before when I was heavier a few years ago on the squat. But I've trimmed down. I'm going to keep getting leaner though. Coach tips on correcting posture. I see to slump forward more in my upper back. Well, so does everyone. Don't get strong. So silverback, if you want less thoracic rounding, just stay really, really, really weak on the deadlift and it'll be fine. Don't ever get to an elite deadlift though. Like avoid it like the plague because it's impossible. Right? You ever seen anybody break a world record without thoracic rounding on a deadlift? Like you ever seen anybody deadlift 700, 800, 900 pounds without a rounded upper back? I haven't. So just stay really weak and it'll fix that problem. Yeah. In other words, it's not a problem. But the only way you're going to be able to do it is to just stay really weak and don't ever put any really heavy weight on the bar. We'll do more upper back work. Try some one-arm dumbbell rows for full range of motion. Like try that. That'll help. Pull-ups will help too. You need to build your rear delts and your rhomboids and stuff up. All right. We'll try things, Coach. You're welcome. How many watts you doing? I don't know. The battery died on this. Like, I haven't changed the battery in this bike in about 9 years. So I have no idea, man. It's on a hard setting. Like, I sweat. This is way harder than a brisk walk. I was doing a lot of brisk walking. I switched over to all bike for that recently. I definitely have a higher heart rate and I sweat more than even walking because I'm breaking a sweat. I'm sitting here in a fan with the air conditioning on. I literally have a ceiling fan. You can see the light blowing on me. You know, so I don't track any of the cardio stuff. People ask that, like, I don't know my miles. I just track minutes. You know what I mean, dude? What's up, Ryan? Ryan's doing good. I'll get you a new sheet later today, Ryan. Lame. Pondering up a thought lately. If you do only these 3 lifts, weighted dips, bend over rows, belt squats, all the muscle body head to toe. No. Your only axial loading is going to be bent over rows. I don't think so. Nope. All right. Zeiss, it's underneath all my videos. I'm not really active on it. I only do foot pictures right now, other than occasional hello. But I still have old content up. There's not anything particularly spicy up there, though. But it's there. I mean, it's all there. So check my, right? Check all my links. I have a whole thing showing all my links underneath my videos. Self-selecting optimal when they study that. All right, okay. Carol says you slowly implementing jogging. Any chance for sprints, dude? Maybe, but not right now. Like adding sprinting on top of all. I mean, that's technically, Carol, do I sprint with the sled sometimes? When I push that sled, a lot of times on that back run back towards the camera, I'm usually running. Not always, not if I do the harness, but if I'm pushing the prowler instead of dragging with the harness, like I'm sprinting. So, I mean, we technically have a sprint. It's just a loaded sprint. You know, old man stuff. Jump from leg to leg. Maybe that doesn't sound fun for me. I have a vestibular disorder. I don't have any sense of balance. I medically don't have a sense of balance. Like, this is confirmed in my medical records. And it's not repairable with current medical technology. Basically, it will require artificial organ. So we're talking stem cell level or advanced robotics for me to get a sense of balance again. So my vestibular labyrinths are pretty much dead. I don't want to do any jumping leg to leg. Box jumps you added are quite good for balance. Alan, not really, no. I don't have a sense of balance. So squatting has actually worked the most wonders for me because all I have is muscle control. I don't have any. So I've had people who say, they're like, well, you can train balance. I'm like, no, you don't understand. The organ in my body that controls balance has been destroyed. I don't physically. Again, this is in my medical records. Confirmed with MRIs and laser balance tests, both. I do not have a sense of balance. I am purely muscle controlled for all of it. I mean, we just jump and land. You just careful, right? It's body control. You it'd be a hard fall, but you guys have seen a 565-pound barbell fall on top of me before. No, it's autoimmune. Being my immune system destroyed my vestibular laments. So I have bilateral Meniere's disease. Why barefoot cardio? Because it's better for your feet. It makes your feet and ankles stronger and more mobile, and it's more natural flow of things. I may even go back to full beltless training again eventually. I'm down to training with just a belt and some of the big lifts. All right. We get in and we train raw, man. All these dudes. I need knee wraps and I need knee sleeves and elbow sleeves. Like, dude, come on. You guys watched me flat back in just a pair of shorts, a 350 bench for a 2-second pause. I did a 500 squat with just shorts and a belt on earlier this year. I like Vibrams. I had 4 pairs, but I wore all of them out years ago and I tossed them. I wore holes through all of them. I used to love Vibrams, but I don't necessarily need them for running, man. I'm going to burn through them real fast at my body weight. Yeah, how about we just build the soul? I mean, I'd consider some again, getting a few pairs in the future. But I used to wear them. I wore them to meets and stuff too, if you look. I'm not going to weight train, dude. I'm going to wear shorts, dude. Like, it's illegal for me to have my garage door open nude, first of all. Secondly, I upload all my training to the internet. I document all my training. So now, why you don't need to train nude? Carol said, I saw the last training vlog, great mix of strength, hypertrophy, conditioning, and explosiveness. Many people could benefit from the copy that. Yep. So what did we do for the workout? For yesterday's workout, we had a training max on the squat, bench, deadlift. We did weighted pull-ups and weighted dips to failure. Did 1-arm dumbbell rows, box jumps, and then we pushed the sled and did a sprint at the end with it, right? So that was before all the cardio. So yeah, that's how we do it, dudes. But we need all those elements, right? We want to maximize strength, maximize muscle mass, conditioning, and explosiveness. Bam. And then follow it up with a perfect diet. Right? Diet then controls the recovery, inflammation, lipid profile, all that beautiful stuff. And it gives you the fuel to train. So we carb up. My diet's like 80% carbs at this point. I'm about that rice and potato life. I mean, I still do lean meat and dairy every day, of course, fat-free dairy. I do Greek yogurt, skim milk. Knee wraps, elbow sleeves, putting bands on the bench. It's like, come on, guys. And you just watched me at 48 years old last week. I was like, let's just lay down a bench 350 flat back in a pair of shorts. Let's pause it for 2 seconds, right? Come on. Like, I don't understand what's with this generation. They're like bitch made or something. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are they so soft? Why can't a dude bench without elbow sleeves? They got to put bands on. Like, why do you, what? Just bench press. Maybe your programming sucks. That's why you beat up and hurt. I just don't get it. You got to be wrapped up like a mummy to bench 315. It's like, are you serious? Just stop. I mean, I watched a guy do that. I was shocked one day, right? It was one up before I built this last home gym. We built in the program, as you know, right? No, you don't need weights for peanut. Just stop. All right. As far as the other thing goes, remember I mentioned that years ago, back when I was training at one of the actually little iron gyms in downtown Houston for a while, right before I started building this all that road home gym. I'm over here training, right? I'm doing stuff. I got like whatever. I'm squatting, front squatting, whatever it was. I'm over here getting ready to squat, right? I'm doing my stuff, and I'm over here training, and I watched this guy come in. And he's watching me and he's like, oh my God, he's watching me raw. I'm over here repping 500 on the deadlift. in shorts and a t-shirt with chalk, no belt, right? And I'm watching this guy. He comes in. He spends like 20 minutes doing foam rolling and mobility work. He has compression clothing. I'm talking like Under Armour type stuff, head to toe, all the way up his sleeves, his whole body. He goes over, he puts on like SBD knee wraps. He puts on elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, wrist wraps, squat shoes. I'm like, dude, like, what are you putting on? It's like he's literally compression clothing head to toe, sleeves on his knees, sleeves on his elbows, like all SBD stuff, wraps up his wrists. In his top set, he squats 185 for 3 reps. And then you watch me go in and deadlift. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do 1 rep with 405 is my warm up. And just slap some chalk on and start repping 500. It's like, and I was already over 40 at that point, you know, I'm like 41 or something. But I'm looking at this dude and the amount of stuff that he needed. And he literally spent 20 minutes warming up. He's like foam rolling his whole body and doing mobility drills and stretching and put on all these sleeves and wrist wraps. And I mean, every joint had a sleeve on it, like an SBD sleeve, right? He squats 185, and that's pounds, not kilos. Guys, that's like, what is that, 75 kg? 80? Is it 80? Is that 80 kilograms? He does a triple with it. I'm not trying to hate, but man, I'm not hating on someone who's coming in and improving. I'll be hating on someone who's at the gym improve themselves. A lot of people just go to, but I mean, you know, I'm just saying this guy sure had on a lot of equipment and he spent all that time warming up. I'm just like 20 minutes, dude, to do that. And I'm like, he could have just done that in a shorts and a t-shirt. I warm up with 100 kilos on the squat. That's my first rep. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not messing with you. That's my warm up. I loosen up my shoulders, do some hangs, and I throw 2 plates on the bar on each side, and I do a squat. It's my first warm up of the day. Usually after my first I usually have a cup of coffee first. So I usually do 1 rep with 2 plates, 1 rep with 3 plates. Then we start going into it. I had a knee injury. How'd you hurt your knee, man? If you're hurting your knees, guys, you need those. Shannon McVeigh, good morning, Jason. She's over on Facebook. Good morning. We're finishing this one up. I got to go grab some potatoes and melons. I saw honeydew melons on sale, like super cheap. I'm gonna grab some because we got to carb up. So yeah, we're getting this good cardio session. First cardio in. Potted meat says upper lower 6 days. No. Or 4 days. Doesn't matter which one you do. I think recovery. Why do you need to train more than 4 days a week? Here's my rule. When you exceed 4 days a week, you need to be on at least 1 gram of testosterone or other steroids a week. It's a baseline. If you're drug free or you use less than 1 gram in your current cycle, don't go over 4 days. That's a hard Blaha rule right there. Most of you natty dudes really need 3 days. I train 3 days. Right? Because I'm not on gear. So at this point, I train 3 days a week. Usually, though, the baseline to add a 5th day of training, you really need at least 1,000 milligrams of steroids a week, honestly, really to benefit from it. Otherwise, you're just wasting time and recovery. You start training 6 days a week. I'd like to see at least 2 grams plus growth hormone. No, it is about frequency. It does matter too. There's no reason for you guys to train that much. There's just no reason. You're not gaining any muscle from it. All you're doing is interfering with recovery. The actual lifting. I don't have any of my drug-free clients train more than 4 days a week. And at least half of them do 3. Have I ever tried HGH? Yes. I don't currently have any. I'm not even probably going to drive anymore. All of mine went bad that I had in the freezer when we lost power for 6 days during that hurricane. So I had like 6 or 7 kits in the freezer, and they all went bad because it was over 100 degrees. And during the heat wave, no one had power within 3 miles of me for 6 days. So that was the end of it. I never bothered to get any more. And the people start crying when they start doing the math. Wait, 6 or 7 kids. Yeah. There's a little bit of money lost. I don't feel that I need it though, honestly. I really don't. I mean, it's a nice addition, but I feel like for me, if I just manage my fatigue and take care of my tendons, it's not really necessary for me. I mean, it's great for tendon recovery. I'd probably definitely be leaner though. If I was using it right now, I'd lose fat quicker, but I can just do more cardio. I just can't justify it, really. But at least I'm honest about it. You know? But here's the thing. Look at where my strength and numbers are even now. I'm in the normal testosterone range. No real anabolics. No growth hormone. And I mean, I just benched 350 with a flat back at 48. I'll take it. Yeah. So, these things happen. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wind all this down, though. Grocery store's going to open somewhat soon. Some stuff I want on sale. I'll do more cardio, obviously, later. I'll get over another hour or 2 later. I love you guys. I'm going to wind down the Facebook. And all right, guys, I'm out. Love you. Talk to you next time. Wealthy, thanks for the super, brother.